Every block another notch upon my resume. Now I'm getting rap money with the better, yeah.
Maybe I'm just like my pals. Maybe them birds will make it off the block, but this is
WC and YouTube, the dynasty continues. Oh yes, folks, it's the WC back with another video, man. Wrapping it up real nice and hot and quick. Yes, this time I'm talking about the NFC North Division, man. The frozen tundra of all those fields up there in the middle of the country. It's just so cold in December, in January. Let me stop, man. But yeah, two of these teams play in the dome anyway, so you know, I guess they're just afraid of the cold, I guess. But let's just go ahead and get right into the star players in this division, man. There's so many star players in this division, and I can't talk about star players without talking about Aaron Rodgers coming from out of absolutely nowhere a couple years ago. And honestly, you can't say he's coming from out of nowhere. I mean, you know, the 49ers had a chance to take him with the first overall pick, and they took Alex Smith, and Alex Smith is not there anymore. So, you know, I guess the 49ers kind of messed up on that one, huh? Gee, yeah, probably, yes. But hey, you know, they got Kaepernick, and I'll talk about Kaepernick a little bit later. Just hold your horses. But, you know, going on to the other star players in this division, like I said, this division is loaded. Adrian Peterson, you know, NFL MVP, one of the hardest working, hardest running backs I've probably ever seen during my generation. He's a star player. Then you go to the Motor City. You know, you got Matthew Stafford throwing bombs to Calvin Johnson, just catching them over everybody, just leaping up out of the air, leaping into the air like Megatron, just snatching it out the air. I don't know how he does it. Then you go, you know, to the Windy City. You can say Cutler, you know, you can say Brandon Marshall, but I'll say Matt Forte is the star player of that team. Without Matt Forte, I don't think that passing offense really, you know, can be that versatile. So if Matt Forte comes out and he's healthy, hey, sky's the limit for the Bears. I mean, this is one of the toughest videos I'm gonna do, because, you know, the teams in this division are just so close. But anyway, let me get to the head coaches. You know, you got Jim Schultz, you got Leslie Frazier, but I think that the best head coach in this division is Mike McCarthy. Not because of the fact that he has Aaron Rodgers, who arguably is probably one of the best players in the game. I don't think that anybody's going to argue with me about that. But because of the fact that, you know, besides Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you know, what other star players do they have? I mean, Jennings just, you know, just turned his back on the Green Bay Nation and just went to Minnesota. So, you know, where's the targets going to come from? Is it more so the targets that he's throwing to, or is it just Aaron Rodgers? We're going to see how well Aaron Rodgers adapts without having a deep threat and Jennings, and then they'll sit there and say Cobb can come in. We'll see. We'll see. But Mike McCarthy, best head coach. Now, surprise team in this division. All right, now it's hard to say like a team is a surprise team in this division when all four of these teams are capable of making the playoffs and making a deep run in the playoffs. But my surprise team is going to be the Detroit Lions. And you know, a couple years ago they made the playoffs, they got in, they pushed the Saints to their limit, they didn't get over the hump, but you know, whatever. All right, I think that the Detroit Lions, you know, with a running back, that's something that they haven't had in a couple years. There's a running back and a dominant defensive line. I mean, they've got a Ndamukong Suh, you know, down there in the trenches, so they've tried to, you know, address that issue. But you know, I think that Reggie Bush can be the X factor in this division. Now with the Detroit Lions, I think that, you know, if they got a speed back there that can, you know, force those linebackers in, force those linebackers to cover, you know, it's something that Detroit has not had since Barry. Now think about that. They haven't had that type of thing, a threat from out of the backfield, passing and running, since Barry. So you guys have to think about that. So they're my surprise team. A close second will be Minnesota. I don't think that Minnesota is going to shock anybody, man. I mean, you know, they just have to get consistency out of the quarterback position. And then you look at the Bears, and it's like I said, you know, as Matt Forte goes, Jay Cutler goes, Brandon Marshall goes, the rest of that team goes. All right, if you're thinking that the Bears is going to just shut everybody down with their defense like they were a couple years ago, It's just not the same defense, folks. All right. The division winner. I mean, like I said, this division could go. This is probably the toughest division to even say that there's going to be a division winner, because, like I said, you know, hey, Green Bay can outscore everybody, but can they stop everybody? That's one thing about it. You can say the same thing about the Lions. They could put up video game points. Minnesota's main focus is going to be running the ball with Adrian Peterson, giving him the ball about 20 times a game, and then Matt Forte. So basically, my division winner is going to be the Pack. I mean, I think that they're probably the best team in this division, but by a hair, because all four of these teams are capable of winning this division. This is one of the hardest divisions to even talk about, to even break down, to even pick a winner. But you know, you can sit here and legitimately say 3 of the teams in the NFC North can be in the playoffs. By all means, I don't think that anybody will be able to debate with you. And there's other divisions out there that you can say the same thing about. Who has the best chance to get to the Super Bowl out of all these 4 teams? I wanted to stick with the Pack. I mean, at least until I see another team just put it all together. You could easily say any of these other teams, but I'm just going to go with the Pack just for the sake of the argument. That's the NFC North Division breakdown. It's freezing already. It's the middle of August and it's freezing already. The tundra is already frozen. Football is coming back right now, and you feel it. I can feel it. I'll see y'all in the next video.